is JQ? Why isn't he here? I'm gonna go change my shirt. He wants to change his shirt. All of a sudden, he can't wear black shirts. He can only wear blue shirts when he records. So now, all of a sudden, before we start to do this, he goes and changes his shirt. This is why we don't like doing things with JQ, because he takes too long. So what am I supposed to do? I can't help it. With that said, you know what? I'm going to drop that intro, and by the time the intro is done, he should be back. But it's JQ, so who knows? Let's just drop that intro. We got a lot to talk about.
Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this money-grabbing book racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right. You know?
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about
Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no! I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? I messed up the intro already. Let me start that all over again. What's going on, everybody? What is my intro? I've forgotten my intro, JQ. I really have forgotten my intro. And I can't hear you because you're muted.
Let's just keep this as the intro. It was good.
Yeah, anyway, I'm so tired from traveling. I forgot my intro. All I know is Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. JQ is over to my left. He's rested. I now know how he feels when he travels all the way to like California. I'm so knackered after traveling for 2 days. Hold on. You said you put on a blue shirt. You didn't say you dyed your hair.
Yeah, man, I have my Euros haircut. Right? Where's your haircut? I saw on Instagram you put braids on. What happened?
Yeah, I did that, and then because I blame that on you as well. Basically, we was hanging out yesterday on the beach, and my wife got 2 braids, and then she was like, "Oh, we can put it on you," and then put on you. And my wife goes, "I said I'm not doing it. My hair's not long enough." And then she says, "Oh, if JQ was here, you would do it." And I said, "What? Hold my beer." But I took them out this morning. It hurt.
You want to see my Euros haircut?
I do want to see a Euros haircut. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like, yeah.
Really green.
Who did that for you? Like, it's really green. Like,
yeah, it's just the right neon green. I'm very happy.
I've never really seen that green type of green ever.
It's dialed.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I like that. Why green for the Euros? What's the deal with that?
I always wanted to do it, just never did. So.
Yeah, you did do checkered boards once, right?
Yeah, I did do checkers.
Wow. Yeah, here
so now we have green.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, man. But anyway, Joseph, this is episode number 194. We just got back from the RCGP Italy. We're gonna talk all about that there in a minute. But before we go on, I'd like to say thank you and shout out to all of the people that followed us followed the NNRC while we was out in Italy. Hope you guys enjoyed the content that we were providing. We'll talk all about that in a bit. But also I want to shout out to all of the No Name RC podcast listeners around the world, man. I got to meet a lot of new people that may listen to the pod, may not, or people that I know that have listened to the pod. I got to meet them in Italy and meet new friends as well. So I was super happy about that. So thank you to all of the NNRC squad from around the world for all your continued support. Also, I'd like to shout out and say thank you to the patrons. You guys will get an early release of this podcast. You got a patron only pod with JQ and I before we left. So we greatly appreciate your support, and we can't do this without you. Also, we have some awesome sponsors on the podcast, and showing the sponsor some love shows the podcast some love. If you guys can, we have affiliate links. We have coupon codes where you can save some money. Some of them you don't. If you could just say, hey, I heard about you on the NNRC, it definitely helps us out. They are Invisible Speed, TZO 200 tires, which we need to get Nick on her and find out what's going on, or when is he gonna launch and all that stuff. High Tech RCD, TNR Fuels, Mayako, Beach RC, Techno RC, Lugs Racing Tires, JQ Scale Motorsports, G-Spec RC Tuning for all your cabling needs, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic for all of your traction needs. Our new sponsor, Sun Pedal USA. I just got a box from them. I'm going to do an unboxing for that because it's going to be for the Techno monster truck that I'm building. Racecraft USA, Clinic RC, RCGP, which I had a great time with everybody there this weekend. House of RC. Shout out to David Ronnefalk, Jared Tebow, and of course, Alexander Hagberg, the doctor who I was talking to him yesterday, who's on his way to Slovakia for the 10 scale Euros, which will be happening this weekend. We'll talk more about that as well. And also shout out to my boy RC Kevin. On a sad note, though, we have to send some condolences before we get on our shout outs. I found out when I got here that Matt Chambers passed away, JQ. So I didn't know Matt personally. I know just the times like we kind of talked to him at some point, like when he was thinking of coming to JQ. But I didn't know him personally. I knew he was kind of fast back in the day, and kind of young to pass away. So it was quite a shock when I heard that he had passed away. And people was like, "Hey, what happened to him?" I was like, "I don't know." But yeah, we want to send our condolences to his family and I believe he lived in Colorado, like the Colorado RC community. And man, I lost another guy, but younger. Like, you know what I mean? It's always sucks when we lose somebody in the RC family, and especially when they're young. And we've lost quite a few young guys, like through accidents and stuff recently. So our condolences to Matt Chambers, and may he rest in peace. Yeah, such a shame, you know, of coming off a great RCGP, then getting him and her that, yeah, kind of was a downer, right? Definitely. Joseph, I want to shout out to the Georgia. I want to announce some races that are coming up. I think these are some good people putting on some good races. So I want you guys to check out the Georgia Peach State Classic that will be held at the Rayburn Arena in Georgia, September 16th to 18th. It's the weekend after the Worlds. Mark Moon and the guys from Loganville are putting on that race. It's on a covered arena, like Wicked Weekend, so it's open on the sides and it's covered up the top. And they're going to put on a nice indoor race there, which I think is going to be good. Shout out also to the USRC series. Rob Isaac and those lot are going back up. It's also sponsored by TNR Fuels. They're headed up to Dakota Slide Race Club in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Seth Van Dalen, Brandon Rose, Tyler Jones are going to be there, and that is July 7th to 10th. So if you guys are in that area, go check it out. And I also want to say a big shout out to my boy Nanoa. I saw he got on the podium at CTRC with they call him Nayako because he runs Mayako. I also saw that, dude got on there. It's good to see the guys at CTRC racing again. It's a great place for club racing. And yeah, good stuff, man. A lot of racing this weekend as well, Joseph. Not just where we were, but around the world. Lots of racing going on. I saw that Westergaard built the JBRL layout at Proline, so they're gonna have a JBRL at Proline. I didn't even know Proline was still had that area to do races, so that's pretty cool. I actually like that track. How about you?
The Proline track,
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
every time
and
it's been really good.
Yeah, and they have a good Thai restaurant not too far from there too. That was like in somebody's house. Remember we ate there? It was like Yumi, Dagani, and we all ate there. It was like somebody's house.
Oh,
yeah, it felt like somebody's house.
Thai restaurant. Yeah, that's good.
So that's good to see. And yeah, man, Joseph, back from, how you feeling from Italy? You caught up? I mean, you didn't have far to travel, but it was Yeah,
It
I
was
did.
very hot.
You,
It took
dude,
a day to recover just because of that.
dude, it was
So
hot,
much better
right?
than cold, though. Yeah.
It was hot, but when I got her and like walked out in the like out of the airport, it was like, oh, it's so humid. It was like sand heat, but humidity. And I was like, oh, Italy wasn't so bad compared to down here, but it's like summertime. It's beautiful out and all that stuff. So yeah, man, I made it home. I kind of left. I spent like 10 hours in the airport in Lanate because I didn't have a lift. So I went with Stefan. He wanted to be all early because he was worried about security. And I got to Lanate. Then I flew to Madrid, got in Madrid about 10:30 that night. I booked a hotel. Didn't have to get my bag. I just need to have my knapsack. Went to this Madrid's weird. Like I went to this little weird small hotel. It was like had a lot of bars and stuff. I didn't go out. I was tired, but I slept there. And then my flight left at 12. And fortunately, I got an emergency seat. But the thing is, so get this, right? So I haven't had to use a seatbelt extension on a lot of different planes. Like coming over, I didn't need no extensions, nothing. But when I sat in the emergency seat, I needed an extension. So I asked for the extension because it's short, right? And they told me I couldn't sit there if I needed an extension. So you know what I done? I did what Greg the Gunny told me always to do. I put the seatbelt under my belly, and then it was cold, so I put a blanket on and had a blanket on the entire time for 8 hours. I used no seatbelt. Had that plane dropped, like, whew, I would have so for sure broke my neck. Like, you know what I mean? But I found it kind of silly that you couldn't have a seatbelt extension and a seat that you actually paid more for. You know what I mean? I'm like, no way. I said, no way I'm gonna change this seat, all this leg room. Like, no way. But and then I had a 3.5 hour drive back up here. So man, I didn't get home until like 8:30 Tuesday evening, and I'm knackered. Dude, I woke up yesterday so tired. But all worth it because I had a great time in Italy. And we're gonna talk all about that in a minute. But before I do, we have to pay some bills, and I like to say shout out. I don't really have much RC news or nothing, but I do have some RC races that I want to talk about. And that's what the high tech RC news or race promotions is brought to you by High Tech RCD. They are a leader in the RC systems, delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by a dedicated customer service personnel. The HSB 9381TH servers, as well as the new DB778WPs, which I see is getting very popular in the 10 scale worlds, all manufactured with high technology through the industrial servo innovations. So they're taking what they're doing in the industrial side of things and putting it into their servos for us in the racing side. Also, the RDX2 Pro charger, which I'll be using very shortly because next week starts my chase for 100 miles an hour with my RC boat, and I have to charge up my batteries, and I can charge up 2 batteries at a time with my RDX2 Pro charger, and I can monitor it on my phone through the Bluetooth dongle. So trust in High Tech, your servo and charger headquarters. We're super happy to have them on board, and visit them at hightechrcd.com/where-to-buy to find your nearest dealer. Well, hit up Mike Walker. I believe he's the representative for them, and he'll get you sorted out. So thank you, High Tech, for all your support. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, get you some awesome servos and a charger. JQ. So, dude, we got a lot of racing coming up. You're not even home for long. You're leaving soon, aren't you? You got like a week home?
Yeah. So not this weekend now. Not next weekend. We have a national next weekend, but on the Sunday after the national.
You're gonna have to get your hair done re-dyed by that time.
No,
I think. Yeah, it's gonna grow out a little bit, so you're gonna have to get it.
Then it will probably look better.
No, it looked great, all green, just the way it is. And drinking that beer, you're making me thirsty. I must want to go order a beer myself. But this weekend we have 2 big races going on. We have the 10 scale Euros from Slovakia, and RC Racing TV will be there, I was told. So that's good.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to watching that. But also we have the carpet 10 scale nationals, the first ever carpet 10 scale nationals by Roar, happening this weekend as well. and that's going to be in Northwest Hobbies. It's like a big Sears building that it's now converted all to RC, and we'll be talking about that. My boy Hefty Jesus is coming on to talk about that with me next week, and I want to say good luck to the doctor. I hope the doctor wins soon, and he could come on the podcast and talk about it. But it's going to be difficult. It's a lot of fast Euro 10 scale drivers. I'm really surprised the Viking didn't go to this because I know he wants to do the Worlds. So shocked he didn't go to that. And Joseph, we have after that, we have the weekend following that, we have the 10 scale Euros from Robin Hood. I think that's probably like the last time you did the 10 scale Euros, right? In Robin Hood? Well, you made a main.
Back then they were on the dirt track. Now it's on Astro.
Right. But that's the year that you made the main. That's the year when Lanka got caught. No, sacrifice. He was like the sacrificial lamb for X-Ray. Like everybody's saucing, and then he gets caught. Like, and I think that was like the start of the downfall of Wolanka. Like he was just never the same after that. But that's interesting. So I'm looking forward to watching that next week. That actually starts Monday because it's a week-long event because they do 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Then the weekend after that, we have the Euros from Barcelos at Figueiredo's track, which you'll be at. Which are you excited for that? You excited for that for the glue track?
Yeah, kind of, because the warm-up was fun. So
yeah, it's a great facility. Really great facility. It looks good. I hope to go there one day and check it out. But it's gonna be good. And I also heard that there might be some collaboration as well going on with RC Racing TV and Live RC with that. Like I heard that maybe like Live RC will. I don't know if I want to let it out, but I just heard they might do some collaboration with like Facebook. You know what I mean? So more eyes get on the Euros, which is great, which I want to see. And actually, I might be working with Matt asked me before I left if I wanted to help do anything virtually with the Euros. So I said, sure, I want to be a part of it. And yeah, whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we have, of course, like I was just watching on Live RC for the Visions race that's coming up on where is it? Hold on. It is coming up on July. I had it written down. Hold on. July. The Visions race is July 14th to the 16th. And apparently, Joseph, so they made a little video. This is actually going to be, they're making a full-time track there, like building a permanent driver stand. It's going to be close by a pool and all this type of stuff. Not close by the pool, but in an area where it's going to be seen a lot. So I'm getting excited for this race. And Brandon was saying that he's going to have like 14 people there working. So I think they're going to go all out. I hope they make the pro drivers be professional too. You know what I mean? Like it'd be great if they have like a factory row and they're signing autographs and they're all dressed like race car drivers and not guys who are like working
I hope so,
shop. You know, stuff like that.
Breath.
Huh? I knew you would say something like that, but I hope that it is. And I think they're going to do a great job. And I think this is great for RC. And I know a lot of people don't like it because it's on the same weekend as the e-buggy nets. But I mean, I think we have to get behind this. And I would love to go to this race, to be honest, but it's just not going to happen. Maybe next year, but I will enjoy watching it. And I look forward to what they have to do. But yeah, then we have 10 scale nationals on dirt. And then I think we have Wicked Weekend. Of course, we have RCGP Round 3. And then the Worlds. Like the Worlds is coming up so fast. It's June. It's almost July. It's June 23rd. So it's almost July. And the Worlds are coming soon. We're going to talk more about the Worlds here in a minute. But we have a few questions, JQ, that I think we need to answer before we go on any further. We did not get many questions. But I know we want to talk about the RCGP. But before we go on further, we have a few Beach RC bench racing Q&A questions.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
And thank you to Brent and BeachRC for their continued support. I see Lucas dropped another Ahab in the White Whale video. I'm going to check it out. Actually, I'm going to have Lucas on here soon, talk about his adventures. And remember, guys, you have an affiliate link for that. If you guys can use that, BeachRC is definitely a company that puts a lot back into racing. I hope you guys can support them. Proper brick and mortar hobby shop doing things right. All right, Joseph. So we have a few questions. A lot pertain to the race that we were just at. With the ones that I do have. So let's start off there. Okay. First off the bat, we're gonna talk about this. So I don't even know if we should answer this question, but my buddy Benjamin James sends in this question and he goes, with his win over Ongaro on day 2 at RCGP, is Juan Carlos Canas one to watch out for the world later this year? I thought Juan Carlos Canas was one to watch out for the Worlds this year, like 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that race doesn't really change anything, in my opinion. He was already a guy to watch.
Yeah.
So he was very strong at the warm-up, didn't he, TQ? I think he did. He was consistently very fast, but then he had a flame out in the semi-final. And then he didn't even have to go to the LCQ. He did, I think. He bumped from there. So then he started last. And, well, to be fair, he was last with Ronne Falk also, who was back there. So he was on track, same place with Ronne Falk early on, but David was able to move through the pack and he wasn't. So if you give Canas a good start, you know, I think he would have been right there. Front with, what's his face? Baldo. So, yes, he's one to watch for sure.
Yeah, and also I have to say this: he was one of the guys that was instantly fast at Ospey this weekend. Like as soon as he got on the track, it was like, whoa! Like he was just amazingly fast. So he's definitely one to look out for. Corey Jordan, how is the European race atmosphere compared to the US race atmosphere? We're going to talk about that I'm going to talk about that in the obviously in the recap. And he also wants to know, do the Europeans want to get the races in front of more people like we do here in the US? What do you think about that, Joseph? Do you think the Europeans want to do things like get it in front of people, similar to like this Visions race that's happening here shortly?
Yeah, I mean, they've done so like in England when they had the on-road Worlds, was it, or Euros in the shopping mall and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they're actually going to have a 10-skill race there again.
EOSs have been at various hobby shows or some other car shows or whatever. Like there's been races where people outside of RC have discovered RC thanks to the races. But so that's good, and that's one step. But doesn't matter if we only do that. We need to do a lot more with our hobby too.
Yeah,
not just.
I would agree. All right, so we have some questions, a couple of questions from the Discord. Remember, guys, the Discord is getting pretty good. Lots of great discussions going on there. And this comes from Zeno. And he says, long time listener, first time caller. He says, I have a bunch of questions, but let's focus. He goes, I really like that. Let's focus how Club Races vibe you guys have going on. So he asks, oh, shucks, what happened to JQ's camera?
I don't know.
Anyway, you figure it out and listen to the questions. He says, me and some friends are trying to resurrect a local 1/8 off-road track in Sweden that's been abandoned for a bunch of years. How does one go about that here in the Nordic climate? You would know about that, Joseph. Any advice for that?
A dirt track, just how to make it good? Well,
yeah,
I mean...
I guess they just want to get it going again.
Yeah, I mean, the best way is... I don't know what's happening with the camera. Keep shutting off. What, like there aren't enough club members, not enough people attending?
Well, I'm hearing a lot in Sweden that, like, from talking to my Swedish mates, how racing's kind of dying out because it's expensive now, with travel and all that type of stuff and whatnot. But I guess they just I mean, I'm gonna give you my advice as a person that's opened the track and done it. I kind of like doing it on my own because then you don't have a whole bunch of whole bunch of Indians and not enough chiefs. But at the same time, it's very difficult to do all of these things on your own. And it gets very, that person usually ends up getting really burnt out really fast. So I think what you guys need to do is like actually form a committee with the club who's going to have this. Each person has responsibilities and you go about it as a group, as a club. Because if you try to do it one person, it's really they're just gonna get burnt out and not be able to do it. That's my thoughts on that. And that not just the Nordic climate. And I don't know, maybe AstroTurf and all that type of stuff because of the snow and whatnot. So who knows? Who knows? But that would be my advice. Would you agree with me, Joseph?
Yeah, and one thing that I think helps, but it's always difficult to find people to do it, but maybe the idea would be that you do it in a less formal way, but have some club days or evenings where everyone gathers. So it builds a bit more of a community, and
I think that's important.
I think it's important too.
Yeah. He also says, I would love to see some more entry-level racing, like some kind of RTR class where the big names team up with amateurs to show them the ropes. And I understand that they're not interested to take the time out. But we actually did that at RCGP this weekend. So we're going to talk about that as well. As for the RTR cars, I mean, I guess maybe like with armors and all that type of stuff, they might want to have a class for them. I don't know, as a novice class. People might have an armor truggy. And obviously you don't want to race them with the other truggies. I don't know, like have a novice class where you can run what you bring. And yes, definitely get the local pros or experts to help out in that area with people. That's what they need. And he also goes, I really think Kyosho did things right with the old Pure 10 class for IC touring car many years. I remember this, where you had to run like a Kyosho car, similar to like the Tamiya races that they had. And he says each country's Kyosho distributor flew the winner to a World's Pure 10 event. Could something similar like this be done today?
Yeah, I remember when I started, they were doing that. And it was a really good thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that really, well, maybe it can be done, but the benefits aren't there anymore for doing it. So I think back then, for Kyosho and Tamiya, it was such a good way to promote the brand, grow RC, and also grow their own company and profit from it, because the sales were there. The market was big enough, and also it not splintered enough. So there were fewer brands. So they were able to reap the rewards of all that effort. Now, I think it's a lot harder for one brand just to do something like that and then be able to sell enough to make it worthwhile. And also another thing, I think now everyone has an Instagram account, Facebook account, everyone's making videos. So back then, you could do those events and you had some magazines cover it and you covered it yourself, and it was really good exposure. Now you can get really good exposure without spending that kind of money, right? Because you do it on social media and such. So I think maybe the incentive to take the time, spend the money, and put in the effort to do something like that isn't there anymore, like it used to be.
Which
is a shame.
It is.
That's why I wish that brands would still care about that side of racing, and instead of doing it alone, but by working together, we could have stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Things like not just something like high pro class racing like RCGP, but spec class, good for new people, this kind of stuff. That would be really good. But for that, the manufacturers would need to and federations would need to collaborate and figure out a good spec class for new people, and everyone's on board, then it could really become something, and it could lower that threshold of entry for new people, and all manufacturers would benefit. Each manufacturer doesn't have to put in so much money and so much effort, but a bit. They join in, everyone benefits. So I wish
I'd agree
like
there.
that could be done.
I'd agree there. And his last question is the MILAPS monopoly on transponders and decoders a good or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing, because then we can go wherever and race with our transponder. We can go on Speed Hive online and we can check our lap times, practice times, all that stuff. So I think it's a good thing. I think it would be a lot worse if we would have to have different transponders and different lap counting software everywhere, and there was no place to check results that you can check, all results or a lot of results, most of the results. I think it would be worse.
I kind of really wish everybody would kind of get on the same type of scoring. Okay, I like that everybody in America uses live RC because I think it's great. I would love to see it in Europe, but I would love, for instance, in Europe for everybody to use Everlaps, because it's great, and it's better than my RCM. It's better than BBK and all these other. I feel like I'm looking at, like, as much as I love the BRCA and I think they do a good job. I think they're scoring I'm on some Commodore 64 back in the 80s with some floppy disks, looking at the scoring. I wish they were just like, all right, so in Europe, we're going to use Everlaps. In America, wherever we use this, or we use these two scorings because I like both, and that's it. And we go from there. That's one thing I would like to see happen. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all our questions. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, because it's time to talk about the RCGP race that happened this past weekend. And if you didn't watch it, you guys missed out on some great racing, some drama, and probably the best 60 minutes of racing I've seen in a very long time. And that is brought to you by Techno RC and TNR Fuels.
Techno RC. Techno RC. Techno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.technorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Techno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Techno Takeover.
And thank you to Techno for their continued support of the NNRC. I have my Techno MT410, which I'm going to be buying got some batteries for it, got electronics. I need to got a body and some batteries, which will come soon. I will be doing some bashing with that shortly. Also, I'd like to say thank you for their support. TNR Fuel here at the NNRC, we're all about the glory, and that glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest nitro fuel in the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family, made by racers for racers. You can get TNR Fuels throughout the USA, and he now has international shipping. For more information, to contact the company, purchase some fuel, or get it in your hobby shop, please reach out to Chris directly at chris@tnrfuels.com. Hit him up on Facebook or find him on House of RC, and just shoot him a message. He'll get back to you. He's a busy man. All righty, JQ. So, hey, I finally made it to Italy, dude. I had an absolute freaking blast in Italy. Even though I didn't get to see much, I had a great time at the race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the race was great. I thought the track was great, and I got to see everything that you talk about, like with European races. I got to see it. You know what I mean, firsthand. And then I can understand why you feel that, why you always complain about the same things. And but real quick, I wanted to talk.
First race in Europe for you.
Yeah, first race in Europe. And I can see why you piss and moan all the time about not having proper compressor stands and pitting for people flying in, and that's an overall atmosphere where you can sit off and enjoy. Tell me a little bit about this track.
Schedules, results posted, all that stuff.
Yeah. Tell tell me a little bit about the OSPI team track. The track crew there seemed to be very nice. Marcos is the guy who runs it. I believe he was a DJ in another life, it seems, or is a DJ because he definitely likes music.
I think, one thing you can notice is that these tracks have a bit more of a club atmosphere than business atmosphere. So it's more sort of, let's make this environment comfortable, enjoyable, fun, that kind of vibe.
Yes.
Let's provide services for people, drinks, beer, food, snacks, music, this kind of vibe that you get. Okay, let's make that track look good with the fencing and banners and this and that, grass, or it's a different kind of, it's a different way of doing it, I would say. Everyone volunteers some of their time and effort because it benefits everyone.
Yeah. So where we was operating this time, so it was great this time. When I was in South Carolina, I was in the cold and wind. And this time, I got to be in the AC a lot. So I was in the AC because it's a nice air-conditioned cabin where you can watch it. That's where we was calling the race from. And inside of this cabin, it has pictures everywhere of like different people that have been there. It was like Adam Drake. And actually, I didn't see any of you, to be honest, which is strange. But, maybe I didn't look hard enough.
I've only been there recently, I think.
Okay, but you could just see like the history of the whole track. It was everywhere, pictures everywhere on the wall, on the ceiling, and I just remember looking at them and saying, "Oh, wow, this person was her," like, and this person was her, and like, it was very interesting. You could see the history, you can see the pride, and they were. I really want to say a big shout out, even though they probably don't understand me, but they showed us a lot of love over there, and I enjoyed it. Like when I got to the track, it was smaller than I thought. I thought it was a little bit bigger. All right, I'm not gonna lie, but when I got there and I saw it, and then once I saw like these guys racing on it, I was like, "Whew, this track is." It was good, man. It was. I told the guys like, "Oh man, that track." Like I know people in the video probably think, "Oh, this track is easy," but the only flat place on this track was the straightaway. Everywhere else was so many comment like up and downs and innovations and all this type of stuff, and then like. Obviously the bridge that nobody landed on because you just jumped completely under the bridge and then under the bridge, over the bridge, and then under the bridge was like concrete, and then just those lefts going on. It was so hard. And then the chicane of death. And dude, I was watching guys, come on that 180, which is like it's a mix. So one part of it's brick, the next part of it's some sort of tile. You sitting there all day, you could see like these guys making 3 or 4 corrections as they just drift full chat around this corner and get on the straightaway and go flying. And if you weren't there, you just couldn't experience it. Like this track was so fast, man. This is like, I mean, like the pace that these guys were running was just incredible. And I just kept saying to myself, and Redovon's like bigger than this and gonna be fast like this. Oh my gosh. That's a subject for later. We're gonna talk about that.
Redovon is twice the size. Oh, is that even enough? No, 3 times.
I think it's 3 times the size. Yeah. I can't freaking wait. So, but this is also like the Reds' home track. They test a lot here, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Boots' home track. He doesn't live far. It was,
He said 2
no surprise.
minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Gusago was pretty. It's like old. Remember, I kept saying this reminds me of Argentina, like Mendoza, like with the wine fields in the back. And then, if you guys ever watch Gladiator, and when like he dies, when Russell Crowe dies in the end and is walking through the wheat fields, like to find his family in heaven, like we drove across that every time to go to the track, and that's the only thing I could think of. Wow, this looks just like the wheat fields from just for me, I've never seen stuff like that. Mountains in the back, villas on the mountains, like we would go out at, like 9 o'clock or finish eating at 10. And there's still people out enjoying, like on a Monday night, just sitting off, enjoying, and kids coming across on these little 50cc bikes. Like, yeah, it was good. It's a little quiet, just different from the DR, but similar in the way the Italian passion was and all that type of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. It was beautiful there. The hotel we stayed at was really nice too. The guy had like every morning, like just, you know, you're just eating cheese and ham and yogurt. And it's just different, man. Just different. Then, of course, at the track, they had cold beer. Like, I don't think, like, cold beer all the time. There was no time they did not have cold beer. Like, not at all. And everybody was drinking and just having a good time and sitting off. And yeah, I thought the track and everything was good. I thought that RCGP done a good job of putting up all the banners, and David done a good job of that. And I just think, like, yeah, it was a bit disappointing with the RC2 numbers because it was very light. But I think that kind of just comes down to, I think, pricing as well of the race. And like the Italians probably saying, hey, we can race at this race anytime we want. What, you know, why do we come here? So it was unfortunate that we didn't get high numbers for RC2, but the people that did come, it was very mixed internationally. We had people from Switzerland, Germany, obviously England. Scott came, Rob, Alice. It was good to meet them finally. France, Felix, Mexico. And his people.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. Lico made it out there. France. Hey, HB1 RC2. Shout out to Thomas Musso. I'm so happy about that. You know, HB didn't want to be a part of it. Huh?
Did they promote it?
I don't know, but they should. He killed it. He probably should have been an RCGP. He's actually pretty good. So he killed it. Felix, I got to meet Felix. Felix drives well too. Renee drives well. Like, you know, guys that we've been talking to and got to meet them. And that was the cool part. Like, and then even on the Sunday, for the mains, like a lot of people came to watch the race, like to spectate. There was a lot of people there on Sunday. And there were some people from Germany that had been to Padova, and they were going back to Germany, and they stopped there. And it was a lot of people, spectators, watching the race on, you know, when I was out there doing my thing. It was pretty good to see, you know, that they came out and at least came and watched. And I thought that was great. But man, let's just get right into the freaking racing though, because I'm going to tell you, freaking Canas was off the hook right off the bat at this race, Joseph. Like, right off the bat, I watched him go on that track and just be fast. Instantly. Like, I get it. Boots is there, and they run pretty much the same program. But wow, Canas is... If Canas isn't one of the favorites to win the Worlds in September, then I don't know who is. Who is? He was fast.
Yeah, I mean, the... Ongaro, Canas, Ronnefalk.
Mm-hmm. Boots was fast, but kind of faded in the long main.
I would say Tessman too. Like we said, Ronnefalk, Ongaro, Canas, Tessman. They for sure, most likely Mayfield too. And then we have a whole bunch after that. But yeah, I mean, they will be there. They will be ready.
Yeah. But he came prepared. S-Wax looked good. He went out there. Valente also was super impressive. Like, wow, he's fast. I know he probably get used to this track, but man, he was
I also
fast.
think that Canas is on a new tire program, same as Ronnefalk. So run whatever you want.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on. Like, it's T-Pro basically, I think, but he runs whatever the best tire is.
Good for him. Probably development. That's what it is. They can say they're developing tires. But S-Work strong showing. Even the young guy Max Hess was good. Like, you know, I didn't realize he was that good for a guy who does it part-time. But what I liked about Max was he is very professional. So every time you put the camera in his face,
he's used to being in front of the camera.
Yeah, and I asked him when I did my walkabout, I said, do you train, like, I know you train with the youth, because he drives for the BMW youth program. And I said, he goes, yeah, we have to train to do interviews and all this stuff and be more professional. I said, would you like to see some of that happen in RC? He goes, yes, that RC can definitely use some of that. Like, you know, because as soon as you put the camera on him, he's like, hey, what's up? And then he starts talking and doing all that type of stuff. And I was like, you know, it's different because a lot of RC drivers are like, hey, what's up? And they're very introverted and don't like that. But he was used to that. And he drove well. He drove well, man. And he gave good interviews. And I was impressed by him. And I was impressed by Tom Robin too. Like, you know what I mean? He was good all weekend. He kind of had some issues in the main, but he was fast. He was definitely faster than you.
Who? Tom?
Yeah,
he was fast.
He was definitely really fast. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the race. What we did. Like, I think after the South Carolina race, everybody, you know, you and I were a little bit bummed, and we raked our compadres over the coals. But I think it helped because it was a whole different vibe, in my opinion, at this race. You know what I mean? Yes, like I said, there weren't a lot of people there, but we was able to do something really cool, and everybody got so much runtime. It did make it harder because like you had to be. It was like no time to do much. You know what I mean?
Honestly, they didn't get that much more runtime than normal, but
didn't they?
No.
But okay, but they still got a shit ton of runtime. But I think it was because
the main difference was that people who didn't make the main still got to run more.
Right, they still got 40
That was really
minutes.
the main difference.
Yes, which was a great idea, and I thought that was good for them as well. Get as much runtime as possible. But I think the gem of all of this. Should I bring it up on her?
Yeah, but before you say that, one thing that I was happy about was that I haven't watched much of the coverage yet. I haven't had time, but it looked like an RCGP now.
Yes.
So the track, preparation, the banners, the trophies, press conference, all of that stuff. Now it looked and felt like an RCGP again.
Yes.
So based on pictures and some videos and everything, like being there. Okay. This is,
yes.
You know, yeah, there was some slip ups, but mostly it was good. Like, okay, this is the base that we built from and improved from. This is the minimum.
Yes.
You know, I was happy about that.
I think the attitude was different too. Not saying that it was, I think a lot of people were so stressed in South Carolina. And at this race, it was a little bit more laid back, less stressful.
And I got the feeling that they cared more.
Yeah.
Which was good. So that, like, I'm talking about the stuff like RCGP staff, media crew, all that. Like, they cared more about what they were doing.
Yeah, I think
that was a really good thing.
And when I left Monday, Nick goes, "Are you going to talk nice about us this time?" And I said, if I can't criticize my coworkers, then who can I criticize? Like, and I said, no, you guys, we did that. I remember when I got there, I said to everybody in the meeting, I said, look, we're going to treat this big so everybody else feels that it's big. I said, just because we only have this little bit of RC2 drivers doesn't take from the fact that we have some of the best drivers in the world racing in Europe and in beautiful Italy, and we're going to treat this big. And everybody did. I think the rush went off really well. You know, it was a little confusing.
Much better,
yeah, actually, I have that on video. Let's put that up so people can see.
One thing people always say is that, oh, it's JQGP or RCGP is like I'm RCGP or something, and it really isn't true. And also now it's good because I don't need to be involved really, right? Yes, it was a lot of my ideas to start off, and I made it happen just through sheer persistence, you know, and not take no for an answer back in 2018-19. But now I had nothing to do really with setting this up and running the race. I came up with, you know, the rush and this other idea that you're going to talk about, those kind of things. But like actually being a part of organizing the race, I don't need to be a part of that, right? But when I see something like Charlotte, or where was it, South Carolina, Piedmont, of course I have to say something, right?
Yeah.
But
you
now,
know you have to say something.
But now it's good. It's like, okay, if we just continue like this, I can purely do what I wanted to do, which was just race in it, right? Have a team in it. So yes, I was also happy to see that. Yeah, people, like I said, they cared more, take on responsibility, and the result is good. So
yeah, I felt that too.
Where's that video?
Yeah, I'm trying to load it up here. I'm having an issue with some stuff. I got the rush on her. I will have it up in a minute. Yeah, everybody seemed to care more, and then also I think what made it easier too was that like the track and the people that attended were used to races run this way as well. You know what I mean? In America, we threw so much new things at people, it was confusing for a lot, and we had to, you know, a lot of time spent talking about it. Is that noise coming from me or from you? Hello. So yeah, good stuff. Let me get up the video here of Rush. Hold on, just having some technical difficulties. Can you hear that noise?
No.
Like okay, so it's not there. Where is it? All right. So here's the Rush. I'm gonna put it on full screen. Do we want to have volume? Let's have some volume.
You're not showing it right. There we go. Yeah, you can. I don't hear anything though.
Okay, well, we'll just look at it and talk about it. So this is Leo Valente going out. This was the introductions to Rush. I just want people to be able to see what the track looked like and all that type of stuff. There's Mr. 50-50 himself. We're gonna talk about him because him and we have a new beef to talk about right there. But I noticed that the SRX guys all chose to use this wing as well this weekend. Joseph, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried it myself.
Yeah. But here's the
So
guys
before the rush and also before the main, we had this driver intro where one by one the driver goes out on track, and then also they play the video intro of the driver, so you get to know what the car looks like, what the driver looks like, and so
yeah, it was also a lot
bit
easier
to the show.
Yeah, and it went off pretty smooth, and it was also easier. Check me, I'm gonna chop the competition. Unfortunately, Zach continued around chopping nothing besides probably trying to chop the cast
himself
off his leg. Yeah. It was hot for him. He was struggling all week, I think, with the broken leg and all that stuff and not racing.
Go on to the fast forward to the race.
Yeah, let's go up. Let's see if we can get to the race. So here's like the qualifying race that we had. And oh man. I think Runafog made it. No, in the practice, Runafog made it all the way up to the end. We practiced this on Thursday, and he made it he started at the very back and bumped all the way to the end and won it. And then I don't think who won it this weekend? Who won Rush? I forget. It had to be Ongaro or Canas.
I can't remember. I think.
Oh, dude, see this area right here. These guys are coming through that area so fast. It was incredible.
Oh, Boots won it. Boots.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. I remember. Boots was pretty savage too in the interview afterwards. He said something that I really liked, and I think he kind of threw the gauntlet down to the Americans in it.
Yeah. Fast forward to the first Rush race, so we can see me get a whole shot.
Oh God, that's all he wants to see.
So obviously, so after that, you have to go
Is
back.
This it?
No, you go back.
Okay,
so a Rush starts with the driver intros, and then drivers are put into brackets. So obviously, I was in the first race because I was amongst the 3 slowest drivers. So I raced first, and then watch this epicness. Oh yeah, perfect. Watch that green machine in the middle. Did you see that whole shot?
You got a great start.
Holy moly.
Let's watch your race because as normal, you start off with a bang and you finish with a fizzle.
You see the Tom Robin behind me.
Yeah. He was
French
good.
is behind me trying to, putting the blinker on like, hey, I want to get by.
And who was that? Boots as well, I think? No, Bronston. Yeah.
Yeah, see, nice cut back on the inside. Watch
that
this,
was actually a great place to pass.
No. Back and then crashed.
Yeah,
we swapped positions 4 times. What was that? Wow. 4 times.
Well, I'm glad that made you happy.
That made me very happy. Great hole shot and led for a lap.
Yeah, buddy. Do you want to see some more? Let's go to the final here. Let's see if we can find the final race. Is this the final race?
Yeah, it's the final race. You have to go back.
There we go.
More.
I think this is it.
Yeah, so the rush is something that we just do on the Friday evening to start off the event, basically. And the idea behind this is also to be able to have something to show people who attend. So if we get somewhere to where we have a bunch of school children or someone attend, we can invite them.
Yeah.
Come
Hopefully
and watch
we're not looking at Barry's ass.
Yeah, I don't know why they wanted to use that shot. Show up at whatever time, like at this place it was 5 p.m. So show up at 5 p.m. and then you see this show. So there's actually something to watch. Introducing the drivers, then there's qualifying, and then there's racing, and there's a winner.
Yeah,
So
and it's
something
short racing.
Bite-size package of a race that people can watch and enjoy. That's really the thinking behind this.
Man, Boots and Canas were just really fast. Like I just can't. Their pace was incredible. Then Ronafalk got the pace. I mean, Ronafalk was fast too. Remnants, we'll talk about that. But like Canas and Ongaro were just on fire. And now it's safe to say that Canas and Ongaro are bitter enemies, and we have a rivalry now. We have the Italian versus the Spaniard.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to check because I'm sure it's been brewing, but one reason is because Canas is getting faster and challenging Ongaro more. Then the second reason is because Canas has a bit of that sort of CTO flavor sprinkled in. Maybe Coelho should be happy about this because it's still a CTO, but maybe from Coelho takeout it becomes a Canas takeout.
Well, no, it's 50-50 with Canas. We can't change it.
No,
maybe
CTO
it's a Canas takeout.
Is the original,
Okay.
So the thing is that a CTO is when you drive into a section your maximum speed in complete disregard of what's happening in front of you. So if there's no car there, you just go for it. If there's a car there and you go for it and the car ahead doesn't go for it as much as you, there's going to be contact. And so because of those kind of things, there's a bit of a beef going on. And at this race, what I haven't checked, but I need to go back and check.
Oh, I can tell you all about it.
Yeah, the starts in qualifying races where Canas would be next to Ongaro and then turn into Ongaro, right? That's the claim. That's the claim. I haven't seen that, but that's where it really started and got heated.
So, okay, I think, was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. Oh, no, it started Saturday. So they were having the qualifying races. And we was like, well, who is he? And it's very rare that you see Ongaro get upset. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, and this one guy keeps taking me out. And he wouldn't say who it was. And Nick's like, well, who is it? Who is it? So it's like, as soon as we got back in the cabin, we was like, okay, we're going to find out who it is. And Matt had slowed it down. He slowed out the last start, saw it. And all you see is Canas like start and like do that. Like just go like it's obviously is trying to get to the line there. But he just was like, starts, goes straight for like a few feet and then just turns and just takes people out. And that's what was pissing off Ongaro. And it happened that time. We found it, we slid it on, we showed it on the live too. They slid it on, put dramatic music to it, frame by frame. It was really cool while they did it. I was super impressed with Matt. I mean, he did that. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And then it happened the second time on this, the exact next race that they had. And freaking oh my God, like you could hear Canas and Ongaro arguing, like calling each other clowns and all this type of stuff. And then finally Ongaro was like, yeah, man, it was. And then Nick said, yeah, we saw it. We slid it on. It's Canas taking out. He goes, yes, he's taking me out. I have nothing to say to him right now. Like nothing. They were angry, like angry. So I don't know what, like, when I talk to him in the pit, Ongaro is always like, kind of, yeah, like that. But he was like, no, I have nothing to say to that guy. And I was like, ooh. These guys don't like each other. And I think it's
S-Work / Reds pits that were calling the Ongaro monkeys.
Really?
That's where the monkey thing came in. I think after Saturday when Ongaro won. So they were mad that Ongaro won. I don't know that anything happened in the actual race, but
right.
Yeah.
I think the next day though was a little better. Like they kind of didn't really go after each other, and I think Canas cleaned it up. Like I think he put conscious effort into cleaning up his driving, because even in interviews he said, "Yeah, I tried to drive. I made I made this mistake." So he definitely tried to do better. But man, do we want to talk about Saturday real quick? I think Angara ended up winning that, Boots second, and Valente third. I think Valente came third. Or was it Canas?
He was.
Yeah. Man, super impressive, Valente. Do you think Valente would do well in Radovan?
Yeah, he wasn't in the main there also. I think he was.
Yeah, I think he can make the main too. He's gotten really fast. He's cleaned up his driving too, as well. He didn't get any trouble. I was hoping, and I said to him, "Your job is to take out JQ."
He did get in some trouble. Yeah, he was taking out people.
Okay.
At the start, just not me. So that was good.
But yeah, he looked good. He won.
It was worth being the sheriff. He now at least respects the green car. Not so much the others, but the green car at least.
Hey, and the trophies were badass, I have to say. The ceramic trophy for the TQ, and then the big ass trophy for everybody. I liked them. They were
Back
good.
to the RCGP standard.
Yes, most definitely. And then, of course, this guy. So I'm the intermediary. You're sending me message to get things done. Like, oh yeah, we need to get a backdrop up from there. And
no
and we got it
shit.
done.
I mean, there are some very basic things that I was very frustrated
yes.
about.
But it got done.
Yeah, it got done. Very good.
It got done.
Time, hopefully be done before the race starts.
So the Saturday was good. I enjoyed the 15-minute races, but honestly, I really do like the 60-minute final. And with going into Sunday with Ongaro and Canas really on each other like that, like I was like, we're gonna get some fireworks, but we didn't. We didn't actually. And Ongaro kind of shocked me too with his decision. He said he was going out on super soft tires because he had more grip in like the
I think it was actually some kind of new compound.
Oh, really?
Like non-existent new compound, yeah.
But they were completely bald by the end of the 60-minute final. But yeah. I mean, those two kind of got out to a lead and just raced each other for 60 minutes, pretty much.
That was crazy, yeah.
What? So let's talk about David. David had probably the shittiest luck I've ever seen. He got shitty starts, then he got a good start, then he crash, and just making silly mistakes. And then in the start of the main, his freaking hose line, his pressure line comes off. Because I was down there being a pit reporter. I don't know if you saw that. So I had me and the guy Ben. We was down there.
Oh, okay.
So I went up to Felix and Matt were like, "All right, go find out what happened with this person." So bad luck for the Viking again. Freaking pressure line off on the first lap and flames out. It's like, wow, he can't catch a break. I went to Adrian. I said, we need to get all these gremlins out of the way by September. You can't be having these type of things happen in September. That's when it all counts. But he did. It seems like every time we talk about Ronald he's battling from the back of the pack again to get to a position.
That's been the story this year.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single race where he's actually been there from the start and just had a clean, good race.
Yeah, but he was definitely on pace. I think, like, when I see the Viking, like, he wants to be so precise. You know what I mean? But when I look at Canas and Ongaro, they're just, like, wild, but controlled wild. You know what I mean?
Isn't wild. You can't say that Ongaro is wild.
Not wild, but controlled wild. Like,
no, Canas is wild. Boots is wild. Ongaro isn't wild. His engine is tuned rich. He drives with a very special driving style.
Well, what I mean,
he's his speed over.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's just able to get around those 180s too.
Canas has way more like top speed, slows down a lot faster and more. So his like lowest speed and highest speed are more extreme. Ongaro is just smooth there in the middle. That's what it looks like when they drive.
Dude, they just battle, dude. They battle for entire 60 minutes. And they were clean. They did hit each other, I think, once or twice, but they kind of, and dude, I was like watching them, like, I go, like, We gotta see what's gonna happen. Because what we was taking video of like Ongaro with the sticks, and then this, while his car is gonna say, I think it had. I have to give the fucking guys from RC Racing TV, they done a badass job with the coverage, man. Honestly, like what they done was amazing. They had that guy, they had like a new cameraman, Ben. He was super busy all over the place. I think they done if the people that watched it or when it comes out for free, it was really good. And
I think we need some
I
highlights.
really enjoyed that. Huh?
Need some highlight videos and stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully they get some highlights out here soon. That would be great. But yeah, Joseph, like what else could you broke early, so you got to watch the main
like half an hour or something.
Oh, we forgot all about him. Man,
What?
Hampus has gotten super fast with the car really quickly.
That was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. I mean, on Sunday he qualified third.
Yeah.
Kanas, Ongaro and him.
Yeah.
that was something special.
I think Hampus
and also it wasn't like he got the whole shot and checked out and then got a lucky position. No, like most of the qualifying races, like he was somewhere behind me, and he had to walk up to the position he finished.
Yeah.
So that was good.
And then unfortunately, he had a throttle servo came on. He came downstairs. He came down. I gave him a big hug and said, "You did a good job. You beat your big brother, JQ." And then he smiled, and his dad gave him a hug. But Hampus is fast. Hampus has got a future ahead of him, I think, most definitely. He's gotten really fast with the car, and he's only been driving it for what since March, So it's impressive. What else? What else can we take back from that? Just a great battle. Like 60 minutes of watching, like two guys that are probably going to be favorites to win the Worlds go at each other. They drove cleanly. They drove with respect for each other, and it wasn't a runaway. I mean, it was a runaway for them because they ran away from everybody else, but it was a battle to the entire end for 60 minutes. And I hope and pray that's what happens at the Worlds in September. Like not necessarily with those drivers, but a battle like that. Like I think near the end, like Canas was just had his tires were a little bit more, and his program was a little bit better. And then I think like Ongaro kind of settled for second at one point.
That's not what happened. Well, okay. No, what happened was Ongaro was leading, so it was actually weird. Like they were battling and they were super close, Canas and Ongaro, and then Canas messed up the triple double. So then Ongaro was right there, and then he also, when he accelerated off the stones, clipped the inside pipe and crashed on that straight there. Where the gates are. So that's where Ongaro got his lead. I know because I was right there. So I let Canas go, then he messed up the triple double. So I repassed him and let him go again on the stones, and then he crashed on that straight. So I saw the whole thing.
Okay.
And then Ongaro was leading with, I don't know the gap, but similar gap to what had happened after that moment, until like late in the race, he went under the bridge and caught a rock in the dirt. Like he flipped over, and that big rock that was there then came out of the track due to that.
Oh.
And then when he was marshaled, Canas had already gone by and had a lead. So then Canas had maybe the same kind of lead that Ongaro had before, and Ongaro reeled Canas in right in the end, and then that's how they then battled the last few laps.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't really see that,
and it was it was crazy
because I was too busy trying to catch video and pit interviews and just making sure like if any drama went on, I was ready for that. So I was like watching the race, but I didn't have your vantage point of the race because you was up on the driver's stand. But I just know like to race to that extreme for 60 minutes, like wow, great, awesome. We need more 60-minute races. I think this is gonna come into this is something that Degani says all the time, that America needs more 60-minute races. And you know what? He's absolutely right, because 45 is great, but that and that 15 minutes, anything can happen. And we'll talk about that. I think after that, just a great, celebration. They had the press conference, like everything was done right. They got RC2 interviews, pictures, everything. Everybody that was a part of the team did their job properly, in my opinion, for this race. And I think the people that watched it live, they enjoyed it. I think the people that watched the in the Discord or some guys, wow, that was great 60 minutes. It was so awesome. And I just want to say congratulations to Canas. He was fast all weekend. He battled some adversary, him and Ongaro kind of ain't friends no more. But we have a nice little rivalry going into the Worlds. Not even that. Like there were some words, there were some like boots in his interview. So me, I came in on what was that called? The RC take or whatever that we did afterwards.
Inside Track Live.
Inside Track. So Nick was doing that, and he finally, that's the day I was covering. Remember, I was sweating so much. I was like, my shirt was white with sweat.
You didn't have to stop. I've heard this story.
You interrupted me to go get a fucking long drink.
What? I didn't say anything.
You just go, like, I thought you said stop. No, I didn't. All you had to say was, I'm going to get a drink.
General. I don't need to say anything. You just keep going. I've heard this.
This is what happens when I record with JQ. I'm supposed to know what this means.
See it.
Anyway, my shirt was sweat stained. I remember you guys teased me about that. Yes, your hair's still green. And of course, the first question I ask as soon as I get on the mic is, do you want the Americans to come over and race more with you? And what do you think is going to happen at the Worlds? So Lee gave his politically correct answer, and he says, yes, we want him to race. But Boots was vicious. He goes, well, I think they're scared. That's the rumor anyway. And I don't think a lot of the Americans are going to come race us in Radovon. And I just meant, I mean, you said that on the last part. Oh gosh, there we go.
Much better with shades.
Yeah. All right. Just don't put a hat on. Just leave your hair like that for now. Okay. So when he said that, dude, that was like the gauntlet. Like, like in the old days when you do with somebody and you take your glove off and slap them in the face with it. Yeah. Boots pretty much said, yeah, come on, America. Let's go. Come over and race with us in September. I loved it.
Can you read my email from my sunglasses?
A little bit, yeah. So don't be looking at porn.
That's not good.
What did you think about that? You like that?
I like Boots kind of said what I would have said.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's good that he said it too, because you have said it.
Yeah. We need more of that. More honesty. I see.
Yeah.
Because the truth is that Europeans always go to race in America, but then the Americans don't come and race in Europe. And we need to find a way to race together more. The best races are the ones where all the top drivers race together.
I agree.
And I wish there was a way where we could make that happen more.
And actually, you had a rant about this too, didn't you? So, yeah, you was like, why it would have been so great if like Bornhorst and Rivkin, not to take anything away from the SRX drivers that were there. And I understand that it costs money. I understand that. But it would have been great to have Rivkin there. Another American there, because then we would have got the Americans more interested. I get it. They want to watch their racers as well. You know what I mean?
Even the other races we do, like I wish all the teams would send their best drivers to the same races. Instead of it being spread out. I mean, we want to watch Ken Roxon and Jason Anderson, Eli Tomac, all these guys racing together instead of Anderson doing some race in New Mexico and Roxon racing in Florida and Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac doing some other race somewhere. Like, it makes no sense.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing? Like, let's all at least race together. We have professional drivers, but then we don't treat them or act at all professionally. It just makes no sense to me. And I'm not just saying that, everyone join RCGP. I don't mean that. I mean, even the races that we do as brands, manufacturers, we send our drivers to some races. We have the European Championships. all European best drivers go there. World Championships, all best drivers around the world go there. How about we decide together to support a number of other races too, and then all the best drivers go there also? It doesn't cost anyone any more money, and we could have so much better racing. And like you see now, this year we had all of these races with no coverage. How does that help anyone, right? It doesn't. So if we did this and we decided to support these certain races and all the best drivers went there, and then we also would have good coverage, it would help everyone.
I agree. I agree. Everybody eats.
And there's no excuse. It doesn't cost any more. You just decide like, okay, instead of this race, we go to that other race. And everyone else is there too. Boom.
I agree. I guess. Fuck. All right. Well, I think anything you wanted to add about RCGP? I mean, I think if you guys really want to go watch it, you can go pay the $14.99 and watch it this month. I think it's up. But you're gonna have to wait until we get to the UK one, which I'm looking forward to. As Hazelwood said, that they're gonna change the layout's gonna stay the same, but multi-surface track. He's super excited. They're gonna really push to get RC2 drivers there as well. I think we're gonna get a good bit of RC2 drivers because there's a nationals there like 2 weeks after, and this will be the one chance they have to get on the track and drive on it. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Nemo, I think Nemo got it and they enjoyed it and they come and they're having fun. And he said Brandon Rose will be there as well, so that'd be good to see. Like to see Brandon come over and race in Europe or England. So I'm looking forward to that. Anything you wanted to add before we move on and maybe talk a little bit about the Worlds and wrap things up here?
Well, yeah, the RCGP loves RC2 race. So
how could we forget about that?
Well, you forgot. Clearly.
Yeah.
The idea was to try and encourage interaction between the RCGP guys and the RC2 drivers. So the idea was that, okay, after qualifying, we take the bottom 5 RC2 drivers and the top 5 RCGP drivers from the Saturday's race. Well, it became 6 in the end, just because of how the heats worked in RC2. So what happened was they were paired together. So we gather everyone, top 6 of RCGP, bottom 6 of RC2, in front of the driver's stand. They have a water pistol, line up the RCGP guys, and then that dead last RC2 guys goes first and picks their teammate. So squirts them with a gun to pick their Super Pole teammate. So everyone gets a teammate, and then the idea was the RCGP guy has to drive the RC2 driver's car. They get a
with
3
their
minute
control
warm-up.
too.
Yeah, with their controller. So Max Hesse was a bit screwed because his partner ran a stick radio, which he had never run before.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, and that was funny. So when Stefan, timekeeper, was doing the overlay with the names and that stuff, he discovered a small problem because he had picked like 4 letters from everyone's name, and then the idea was that the RCGP guy loves RC2, so it became Hess loves cock with Rob Cockcroft. So then he was like, "Oh, I have to change my system." Anyway, that's a side note. The point being that RCGP guys go out 3 minute warm up, then they pull in, then one by one they go out on a 3-lap Super Pole, and that was really fun to watch because there were cars that clearly didn't handle very well, but the drivers adapted quickly and were able to do, like, maybe the first lap was a disaster, right? Then the second lap, okay, it starts to look good, and the third lap was like, oh, it's looking good. But the fun thing about that was that you knew that it was purely just the driver doing it, right? But then also the other fun thing to see was that some of the cars were really good. For example, Ongaro did a really fast lap time with an associated, actually, it was an Italian guy, I think. So he was lucky with his partner choice. But he was so impressed, and he actually drove a wheel, not even a stick, drove a wheel radio, looked very good, did that 30.6 or 30.8 or something like that, right? That he actually learned something and got advice, like setup advice the wrong
From
way.
the guy.
Yeah, because the idea was that after they drive, then there's a break, then the RCGP guy gives some feedback to the RC2 guy. Well, in Hampus Barry's case, it was dead easy. Like, I hit the brakes and I did a freaking donut. You have 0 brakes on the front and 100% in the rear. So, sometimes it was easy stuff. Or like Ronne Falk with his partner.
Alice.
Yeah, you're dead, Alice, yeah. Dead band on the radio is like 5 mil. Like, we need to fix your throttle linkage. So, a lot of sort of low-hanging fruit, easy advice to give. But then the opposite happened with Ongaro. I bet the discussion was the opposite, to where Ongaro was trying to figure out why this RC2 car was so good.
Right.
So I actually asked him, I pressed him on this, and he did say that he did try some ideas from the RC2 guys setup. So I don't know what exactly yet, but I'll figure it out. So that's crazy. He drives one of the bottom 5 cars with a wheel radio, does really well, and then finds something to improve his own car. That was
crazy.
Not expected.
So, and Boots had so Boots drove a Mayaku. It was the guy Max Heine or Heino or whatever his name is, German guy, right?
Swiss.
Oh, he's Swiss. Sorry. Yeah. So, but it was a stick radio. But I have it on video. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, but it's on Facebook and it's on my Instagram. So his sticks had these, like, how sticks go like this and like that, up and on and then like that. His sticks went diagonal, like this.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah. So Boots is like, I'm walking up there and Boots goes, look at this. He shows me in the video. I said, oh, you got a stick radio, you'll be all right. And he goes, no, look how these sticks go.
Yeah, and also he had built like thumb holders.
Yes.
out of some form of metal there.
Yeah.
Maybe like aluminium sheet or something. So you place the thumbs in the holders, sort of. It looked like Edward Scissorhands. Small size.
I said, that's gonna be hard. And he goes, no shit. But he got it done. And then the Joes, they went out and they had a 5-minute race and they had to get their best lap, right?
Yeah. So the idea was, after the setup feedback, RC2 guy with newly found help and advice, they go out and drive, and then the RCGP guy is their mechanic and maybe can give them some driving advice through the headset or on the driver's stand. Because during that 5 minutes, you just need the one fast lap. And then you take both fast laps and combine them, and then you have a podium. So I think the idea was that all of this was filmed, but not streamed. And then this will be edited together into a video and then posted online for everyone. So
yeah,
I'm looking
was
forward
really
to
good.
That.
It didn't. I mean, I remember when you first told me, I said, yeah, let's do it. We got time. And I think everybody was kind of like, oh, JQ added another thing to it. And then, but then it was like, oh no, this is actually really cool. And I remember you was like, Lefty, get up and get some footage, because I think I was doing something at the time. I was posting something. So I got up and got the footage, made a little 6-minute video. And I think it was fun for the drivers. I think the pro guys, I think it was fun for the people that were there that had it. Like Alice was so happy that she got a 39-second lap. That was her goal, to get a 39-second lap. And she got it, and like you said, Ongaro learned something. Like, that's crazy. Like, so crazy. It was good. It was good idea, JQ. Very well done. I'm glad you pushed to have it done. Everybody got like a beer or something, and they got to pop champagne as well. And I thought that was cool. And I think other tracks can implement it as well. I know, like Katie Carmendi, Race Like a Girl, her podcast, they do some races as well where they do similar things. Like, they'll have a local pro team up with a younger member and coach them and all that type of stuff. But this was a little bit deeper. And I think if you guys like it, hit up JQ, because it was really a good little format, or check the video. And it was fun, man. And it added a lot of appreciation to the RC2 guys that did come out to make that trip. I mean, it must have been just well chuffed for them to have a pro guy drive their car. as well. Then to give them some advice.
Yeah, that too.
So well done on that. I thought that was awesome. You check it out on Instagram. I won't put it up on YouTube. I just threw together a little video of it, what they done, and yeah, it was good, man. Congratulations, JQ. Well done. And before we move on and talk about the world, I just want to say congratulations and well done to all of the OSPI team crew that put in the hard work and done that. It would have been impossible without that. Thank you to all of the RC2 people that came and made the trip. Scott will say that, you know, he really wasn't happy to meet me, but he knows it was the highlight of his trip. You know, and then just getting to meet like Neo and Renee and all these guys, and then Pascal and his wife from Switzerland that came. Like I got to meet Beat, who and I from Scuderia Scampirasso finally, and I you know, I talked to him, and everybody kind of like, you know, Ongaro's man was smile at me and shake my hand and stuff like that, and even Ongaro was, but you can see that all those young Italian drivers want to be like Ongaro, same hairstyle, you know what I mean? He's like the guy, like for those young guys there. And we saw some fast Italian guys come out too. I really wanted to see more these Italian kids come out there. Like I would have loved to see Polito and stuff like that there as well, you know, because just to see how fast. But Polito couldn't run RC too. But I thought it was great. I went to my first race in Italy. And let's not forget. Should we talk about this? And like let's leave this. Now we're gonna go into like rant and worlds and all that type of stuff. And the best thing that happened to me on the trip happened on the last day.
We don't want to hear about your toilet experiences.
Yes, people want to understand.
No, they don't.
Worked.
They don't. No, this can be like a patron only section.
Yeah, maybe. But all I'm gonna say is, all I kept hearing from you guys is, "Oh yeah, the toilets in Italy," and then you know, I went the restaurant next to the.
Let's just leave this for the patron only. I don't need to hear your toilet stories.
It was so great, so great, so great. Squatting, everybody, is good for you.
Patron only. Let's move on.
Whoa, you want to steal my thunder? Like the one great thing I did all weekend, and you want to take it away from me. But anyway, let's talk about. Also shout out to the RC Racing TV guys, Matt. All those guys done a great job. Everybody done their job great. Circus RC done his job great. Mal and Evelyn done their job great. Isherwood was happy and not stressed. You know, I think once the teams got into it, it was good. You was up there mostly. I wasn't up there. Any interesting banter? Any interesting rumors that you heard while you was up there?
Well, not
that
really.
You can say or can't say.
Not something I can say at least. But one thing that was in a way, if you think about the series, it was good, is that Ongaro had a great weekend and Ronnefalk didn't really have the best weekend.
Yeah. So now it's points.
I mean, 4th and 5th, and Ongaro was 1st and 2nd. And also qualifying races, how they worked out and all that stuff. Ongaro TQing on Saturday. It means that the points are close enough to where this championship is going to be exciting.
Yes.
So I was a bit disappointed after the first race, thinking that, well, like the whole point is that it's a series. And now these guys aren't even showing up. And so it's not going to be a fun championship to follow. But I think it actually will be now.
Yes.
Because it's only, 10 points or 11 points separate the two. Ronnefalk leading and Ongaro in 2nd. And even Canas is just 10 more points behind. So I think that this season can turn out to be good still. From a series perspective.
And I think these guys are going to want to race each other as much as possible leading into the Worlds. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to have as well. Their advantage doing these 60-minute because we have the Euros coming up
and
all that type
we
of
have
stuff.
the third weekend of events is first weekend of August, so 1 month before the Worlds. Perfect sort of time to have a race like that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Just a big shout out to everybody, man. Everybody done a great job, in my opinion, and I'm really excited to see what RC Racing TV does for the Euros coming up, for the Worlds, all that type of stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed being used more as well. out in the pit reporting, doing that. You know, I think Nick and I have a great rapport. He's good at calling the races. I'm good at talking about whoever's there. You know what I mean? And I
likes
enjoyed
being
that.
used.
Huh?
You like being used.
Well, I guess, yeah. I like being used. And talking is what I do best. So I guess it's good. So great event. Was a great time in Italy for the first time. I pooped in an Italian toilet. So let's check that off the bat. And everybody should have a bidet in their house because bidets are great. JQ, are we gonna rant? We haven't. Let's have a little rant and
Do
then
we
a
have
conclusion.
a rant?
Let's
We can think of a rant, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what? Let's think of
Now,
it.
next.
Yeah, hold on for a second.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on. Whoa. Things are about to get serious. It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
Yeah, we haven't played that in a long time. Long time. I don't really have a rant per se.
I thought of a rant just now.
But I have something to say that
Okay.
I want and I think we're gonna hear a lot of it. I think the Americans are in trouble for the Worlds, man. I really do. After watching this race,
I don't have a rant about that, but okay, let's
just talk about that real quick because everybody wants to know about that.
So
look,
I think I would compare it to motocross actually, because there's like a similar dynamic there. Like Europeans go over to America, but the Americans don't come here.
Right.
And when the Americans come to Europe, like Villapoto did, he was like half retired, not caring that much, and he got his butt kicked. So then it like makes it seem even more like, oh, the Europeans are so good here in Europe.
Right.
And well, when there are motocross of nations, when they come over, then you can see the difference. Like, okay, yes, so there is a difference. And I would say in RC there is a difference too. And what it comes down to is the way that the tracks are in Europe. We normally don't water them, so they develop differently. Oftentimes what happens is they get some kind of groove going. So high grip or grippy with dust, which makes it tricky with the inconsistent traction. So just track condition is one thing. It's more raw in a sense. It's not so consistent as in America. In America, they have like many of the tracks you see, at least. There's like they water them, so they get this sort of different type of surface.
Right.
So looser, even if it breaks up, it's just a different type of surface. Or then it's high grip, but it's sort of smooth, a smooth groove. In Europe, it's a big mix of dust and sharp edges and grippy sections, and it's just different.
And
but
speed.
Then the second thing, that's the second thing, which is the way the layout is built. The speed that we enter sections and maintain corner speed through sections, it's just so different that the requirements from the car, so the setup itself, but also the driving is different. And I think that's where the challenge will be for the Worlds. So it's not really enough that like Thibaut shows up with his techno and puts it down and just drives well. Like that won't be enough, because there are so many Europeans who have tuned and adjusted their setup to be very fast on tracks that are fast. So it's not enough to just drive really well. You also need to have a car that is fast and can perform on those kind of tracks. So that will be interesting to see at the Worlds how it works out. Like which Europeans are fast and outperforming some drivers who normally they wouldn't.
Right.
You know, and which Americans can adapt and be right up there, you know, relatively quickly. So it's going to be interesting.
Don't get me twisted. I definitely think like Mayfield I definitely think an American can win this, but I only think it's a few. You know what I mean? And I think Mayfield, I think Fan can, I think
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean,
He's not American, but I think Tasman will do well, and I think Cavallari and Tebow will do well just from experience. I think Cavallari is going to surprise a lot of people because they've just had more experience on these going to European races and stuff like that.
And to be honest, actually, the world's layout will be slower.
Okay,
it will be a bit slower and a bit more technical. So,
and
that should help a bit too.
Yes, I honestly think that we're going to see Cole Ogden do well too, because
I don't see that.
He's had experience in Europe. That's why. And hot race is good over there. I think Mason Fuller will be in the main too. I think he'll be in the main. I think there's gonna be a lot of big names that aren't in the main, like European and American. But it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be super interesting. I can't wait. Anybody that's saying that the worlds don't matter, they're insane. They're insane. It matters. Like this worlds matters more than anything. And after what I saw this weekend, I just came out of there like saying, I've been to a lot of races, and don't get me wrong, I love watching the American races and all that type of stuff. But it's like you said, it's like it was a different level. What I saw at Canas and Ongaro, and I was just like, I've seen it on video and all that type of stuff, but to see it in person, I just blown away at the amount of speed that these guys can carry, and to think that there's other guys that are fast that we ain't even like that Europeans that weren't there that can be there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be semis. The semis for the worlds is gonna be insane. It's gonna be difficult, man. It's gonna be difficult for the Americans, but the cream always rises to the top. And some of the, like Mayfield right now, arguably, I think Mayfield and Dakota Fan can arguably be, I consider Dakota Fan the best all-round driver at the moment, like 10 skill, 8 skill. And we, like you can't.
Testament.
Testament. And Mayfield, I mean, you can't count these guys out.
No,
at all.
I think the elite is the elite. They're going to be there. But where you see the difference is then the step below them. I think that's where you see the difference.
Right.
So the 10 other drivers that are fast, like that's where you're going to see. And I think Cole belongs to that group. So I don't agree with what you said about him. I think that's a driver where you would see that difference, like he's in a quarterfinal or something. Like, and it's just like, man, these guys are fast and their cars are set up for this.
Yeah. But I do think Mason Fuller will be in the final. And I think he's that young guy from America that's going to be there. No pressure, Mason. I believe in you.
You jinxed.
So what was your rant? And then we're going to conclude this.
My rant is something that we're going to make a video about. So me and Max are going to do a collaboration. We're making a video about this subject. It has to do with how people like to say, oh, he can drive anything. This is a subject that almost got my face punched by a very big man in Finland. He was a bit drunk and a bit unstable, but this subject for some reason triggered him. So he said, he was asking about Mayako and how it's going and how the car is. And I said people that have got the car, they've been very happy. It's been, stable, easy to drive. They've been doing well. And then that part I was confident in. I knew that was the case. But then someone like Ronnefalk, who needs a different type of car and who needs to be the fastest in the world, that's a different level. I wasn't sure about that, but the races we've been to, he has shown that the car is capable. So I'm very happy on both aspects. And then he said that, but Ronnefalk, he can drive anything. And that's really the subject. So then I said, he can, but he can't beat the other best drivers in the world with anything. He can come to Finland and race well, maybe not actually. Maybe. he can go somewhere against lower competition and he can win with something subpar.
Right.
But he can't go to the RCGP in Osby team and beat Ongaro and Canas.
Yeah.
With something. No, he cannot. There is no way. He needs to have everything work just like he wants perfectly. And not
I have
it's not
noticed
even
that about
enough.
him.
Like not just him. Ongaro cannot go to a race and win if his car isn't working right. Like DNC,
Right.
he was a non-factor at DNC.
Exactly.
Why did he forget how to drive?
No, he just couldn't.
It's because the car was not handling how he wants it to handle.
Mhm.
He wasn't comfortable. He wasn't able to win. You know? So we are at the point where all these guys, they need to have a car that's set up well to suit them to be able to win or challenge for the win. Because there are so many fast guys now. And if 3 of them have cars that are dialed for them, and 1 of them has a car that's not quite right and tires that are a bit off, that one guy is not going to have a chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is like what people don't get for some reason. Just because they can outperform you or some local race doesn't mean that they can then do the same against the best drivers in the world. That's disrespectful for the other top drivers, isn't it? If you say like, oh, well, Ronefal can race anything and win. No, he can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ronefal was really fast at the World's warm-up and finished second. That's really good, right? He beat all those good drivers. Then at RCGP, yes, he had some issues, but even there, he wasn't challenging for the TQs or the wins.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like on that level, and it wasn't because he suddenly in 2 weeks forgot how to drive. No, it was because the car was not handling how he wanted. His comfort level wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to try to find something to make it handle how he wants. So he has the steering he needs and the comfort level he needs, so he can drive and push the car to the absolute limit, so he can match Ongara, who is like perfectly in tune with his car, and Kanas,
Mm-hmm.
who is perfectly in tune with his car. Those guys have thousands of laps on that track. Yes, the layout was new, but a lot of the features are the same, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never been there, right? So like the track is unknown, the setup isn't right, then you don't win,
okay.
Right? So that's my rant. Like, people have these sort of strong opinions and sort of dogma, almost things they say, but very often they are so wrong, and it just annoys me. Like, if someone today, if a top driver is really fast somewhere, he TQs, he wins, whatever, that means that the equipment he's running is very good. There is no way around that. You cannot make some shit tires and shit car and shit engine win the Worlds or a big race in this day and age. You cannot. Maybe 20 years ago you could, but now you can't. The competition is too tough.
Yeah, too much, and there's more coming.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's my rant. So yeah, I don't know. This guy got really triggered and almost.
When was this? Like, you got back from
Finnish National.
You got
like
punched in the face at the Finnish Nationals?
No, almost. Yeah. He actually threw one punch that didn't hit. It was very crazy.
Oof, what is wrong with you Finnish people? It's so violent. Man. Why does everybody want to punch you in your face?
I don't know.
Oh,
I have no idea. I'm going to find out now this weekend. We're going to my friend's summer cottage. Let's see what happens.
For like
long.
Oh yeah. This is when you guys go crazy, get drunk, and go ride jet skis in your underwear and all that shit.
Yeah, this is it.
So I'm not gonna hear from you all weekend. Besides, you fucking.
It's gonna be good.
That's why you got green hair.
I bought 3 bottles of limoncello, a bunch of Monster Energy too to mix, because
I did like the limoncello.
Italians,
I didn't.
Italians thought that was blasphemous.
Really?
Limoncello and Monster, but it's good. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, I took Miles' advice and did not ask for pineapple on pizza in Italy. He said I would be. Yeah, he said I'd probably get kicked out. I did want to say something to people who may be thinking about, like, Americans that might be thinking about traveling to Europe and all that type of stuff. I literally had no issues whatsoever. Nobody even asked me for a copy of my vaccine, or I spent money on
restrictions were dropped, I think, beginning of June.
Yeah, and then I got to Spain and I was a little worried about because my flight was going to leave at 12 the next day, so I was like, I'm not staying in the hotel in the airport. I spent the whole day in the airport, period. So I got out, no issue, went to my hotel, came back, and boom, that's it. It was no problem whatsoever. I had a great time, and I have to shout out to Stefan. Man, Stefan is I was teasing him because I was like, oh, you and Pierre Ronafalk are exactly the same. Like, he won't cut in line, like, and David was telling me this, yeah, it's a Swedish thing. He doesn't cut in line. They have to park perfectly. So like every time we park, I was like, Stefan, let me take out my tape measure and make sure that you're on par or not. So I'm gonna tell Ronafalk. But you guys, this is like behind the scenes stuff. So I remember like we was about to start a race, and he was like, this is Stefan. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You gotta stop, you gotta stop, you gotta stop. This is the timekeeper. I'm like, oh, something's really going wrong. This is him freaking out, and I'm got the mute button, and I'm like, what's going on? We're gonna have to stop the race. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And that's all he kept saying. And then he goes, oh no, I got it. We can go ahead. Stefan loves that stuff. You know what I mean? He lives for programming and making sure that timing works properly. And
did you see how he runs the overlay system? So the videos, graphics that pop up during the race?
No, I
Did
was
you
too
see
busy.
how that? Oh, okay.
But
And
he doesn't
like when he sets all that up and
yeah,
coding and everything. It looks so crazy. Like, oh,
yeah.
how do you even know what's happening?
And he's just got like that dry. He's like got this dry Swedish humor, and he makes you just laugh. And it was just fun. It was a great time. I had fun. Thank you everybody that tuned in and followed us on the Instagram and all that stuff. And man, if you didn't watch it live, you guys missed out a great race, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm looking forward to England. I'm looking forward to all the racing we have coming up over the next couple of months, Sir Joseph, in America and in Europe. And of course in Australia too, they're also racing. Yeah, I can't wait. But you have some fun. You have fun this weekend. Don't fuck yourself up, because I know like you always
try not to
fuck yourself up.
We're going to ride so I'm leaving 7:30 tomorrow morning, driving for like 4 hours, and then we go ride motocross, and then we go to the summer cottage.
So there's a strong chance of you hurting yourself this weekend. Just remember,
but I have green hair. It's gonna protect me.
Yeah, but remember, you have a European Championships coming up that Ronafalk wants to win, that we want him to win.
Yeah.
We're not worried about your results down in the 8th mains. And
it's not going to be a problem.
Zankatine has to get up there. Hampus has got to get. Hampus is going to the Euros too. Max is going to the Euros. So
Max has been sick lately. I don't know if he's going.
Okay.
Well, should be going, sure,
but and then obviously I'm really interested in the Visions race we have coming up soon too. And
when is that?
July 16th to. No, you're gonna ask me again, and I had it up here earlier.
July, so it's in 1 month or so.
July 14th to 16th.
Okay, so the next big race is the Euros and then the Visions thing.
Yeah, and then 10 scale races as well, all that stuff. And there's gonna be lots of coverage too. So our RC Racing TV is gonna be busy.
Yeah, 10 scale Euros is week before Nitro Euros.
Yep. And then they're doing like large scale, and they're going to be busy every weekend to the Worlds, I think, almost.
Yeah.
So good stuff, man. Happy to see. Good to see. Thank you to Europe. If you're RC, and look, if you're an RC enthusiast and you love RC, I think everybody should go to a race in Europe at one point in their life and check it out. You would like it. You would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I implore you to do that. Well, Joseph, with that said, thank you for your time. Please don't hurt yourself this weekend. Not too badly.
Yeah, I'll try.
Have fun. Thank you everybody that tuned in. I want to say thank you to David Isherwood too for taking me to Italy. I really enjoyed myself, and if it wasn't for this guy with green hair and getting me involved in all this type of stuff, and all you people out there that are listening to this podcast and supporting us, I wouldn't have been able to get there either. So I just want to say thank you, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have been able to go. So yeah, just thank you for everything you guys do. Share this podcast. Don't forget to
and thank you to the Mayako people.
Yes,
the Mayako NPC crew. Half of the field. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have been able to go in.
That's true too. So shout out to them. It was great to meet those guys. Scott loves me. I know it. And he tries not to show it, but he really does like me. And He needed a hat, dude. I saw him go out there and Marshall one time without a hat, and I almost ran out there. He's like, "It's too hot for that." I said, "Dude, your head's gonna boil, like you're gonna die." But it was good, man. I had fun, and thank you to everybody. It was awesome. Yeah, shout out to all the NNRC squad. We'll be back next week. We'll be doing a recap of the carpet nets. Max will be back as well next week. We're gonna have an interview as well. Back to normal schedule. Back on the what? I'm gonna be having some fun with RC. Follow my YouTube. I might chase for 100 miles per hour with my RC boat, which JQ thinks that I'm not gonna be able to do. I'm gonna prove him wrong. I'm gonna go more than 100 miles an hour, and I'm not gonna hurt anybody in the process of doing that. I got some unboxing videos coming. I got some product. I got some stuff I'm gonna unbox and show you guys. I'm really trying to grow that side of the art of the podcast of the YouTube channel because I want to have some fun with RC. We got lots of racing coming up. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. Enjoy your midsummer. You guys enjoy your weekend this weekend wherever you're racing. Be safe. Have fun. Remember, RC is for everyone, and we can't do this without the NNRC squad. We can't do it without the patrons of the NNRC. Thank you for that as well. And shout out to all the awesome sponsors. Showing them some love helps us out. Shout out to Invisible Speed. Get the online course. If you love the book, the online course is great.
Yeah, and we have some special things coming up here with at the Euros.
Oh,
Invisible
nice.
Speed, so.
Nice. TZO 200 tires. Nick, we got to get Nick on there. What? We got to find out what's going on. Everybody keeps asking me when they can buy tires.
Yeah.
I think the website's up. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, tzotires.com.
Oh, it's
Someone
up.
asked me also. I'm using their wheels because they have green wheels.
Oh yeah. Everybody just says you're channeling your inner Kanai.
Yeah,
High Tech RC. Yeah.
He's retiring. I'm taking over.
Right. Good. That means less racing for you. More focus on making others fast. High Tech RCD, TNR Fuels, Mayako. Shout out to all the Mayako crew. It was good to meet you guys. Beach RC, Techno RC, Lugs Racing Tires, JQ Scale Motorsports, G-Spec RC Tuning, Papa Willis Traction Tonic, Sampadao USA, Racecraft USA, Clinic RC, RCGP, House of RC. Shout out to JTP, Jarrett Tebow and his shop. And good luck to the Dr. Alexander Hagberg this weekend in Slovakia. I hope you win. And I need to catch up on my Kenobi episodes. Thank you, Joseph, for your time. Thank you guys for all the support. Josie, I'm out. You're out. Don't kill yourself this weekend. Be safe. And you know what, everybody? Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later. Lefty and JQ are out.